Team Slifer Slackers with another character deck profile. We'll be doing the Chazz Princeton deck today. If you want to see the duel we had between this deck and the Jaden deck, I'll put that down in the description below. We'll get into this 40 card character deck. First off, we have 2 Ojama Yellows, 2 Ojama Greens, and 2 Ojama Black. These guys are my favorite monsters in the deck. They're awesome. There's a lot of support cards for them in the deck, and if you pull them off, they can do some crazy stuff. That's it for the Ojama monsters. Next we move on to the Armed Dragon portion of the monsters, which we have 3 Armed Dragon level 3s. During your standby phase, you can send this card to the graveyard to level him up into Armed Dragon level 5. Now we'll move on to 3 Armed Dragon level 5s. You can discard any monster from your hand to destroy one monster on the field whose attack is equal to or less than the monster you discarded. Also, during the end phase of a turn that this monster destroys a monster by battle, you can level him up into Armed Dragon level 7. Speaking of level 7, we have 2 Armed Dragon level 7s. His effect is similar to level 5, except when you discard a monster, it will destroy all opposing monsters whose attack are equal to or less than the monster's attack that you discarded. Next we have 2 Mass Dragons. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon any dragon monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to the field. We also have 2 Flying Tabakiri number 1s. When this is destroyed by battle, you can special summon any wind monster from your deck with 1500 or less attack to the field. So both Mass Dragon and Flying Tabakiri number 1 can search out your Armed Dragon level 3. Next we have 1 copy of Despair of the Dark. It doesn't really have a purpose in the deck except for having synergy with the Armed Dragon's effects. Since he has 2800 attack points, he can pretty much destroy any monster when you discard him. That rounds out the monster card lineup for the main deck. Moving on to spells, we have some Ojama support. We have 1 Oja Magic. When Oja Magic is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can add 1 each of 1 Ojama Green, 1 Ojama Black, and 1 Ojama Yellow from your deck to your hand. We have Oja Muscle. If you have an Ojama King on the field, you can destroy all other Ojama monsters on the field, and he'll gain 1000 attack points for each one destroyed, and that's permanent. We have Ojama Delta Hurricane. If you manage to get Ojama Yellow, Ojama Green, and Ojama Black on the field, at the same time you can activate this card, which will destroy all cards your opponent controls. We have 1 Enchanting Fitting Room. By paying 800 life points, you pick up the top 4 cards of your deck, and special summon to your side of the field any level 2 or lower normal monsters among those cards, which will be your Ojamas. Any cards not Ojamas will go back into the deck. We have 1 copy of Tri-White, which is a substitute for a card that called Ojamandala. Ojamandala's effect was you pay 1000 life points to special summon 1 Ojama Yellow, Ojama Black, and Ojama Green from your graveyard to the field. Tri-White has a very similar effect in that you can target 3 level 2 or lower normal monsters in your graveyard and summon them to the field. So, I figured it would be a good substitute. It does the exact same thing minus the life points. We have 1 copy of Polymerization to get out our fusion monsters. That rounds up the Ojama portion of the spell cards. Moving on, we have a copy of Level Up, which lets you pick any monster that has level in the name and level it up to the next level. We have a copy of the Graveyard in the 4th Dimension, which takes 2 level monsters in your graveyard and shuffles them right back into the deck. 1 copy of Level Modulation. When you activate this card, your opponent draws 2 cards, and you can special summon 1 monster in your graveyard that has level in the name, ignoring the special summoning conditions. So, if level 7 is in your graveyard, normally you wouldn't be able to special summon it, but with this card you can. However, the monster that you special summon with this effect cannot attack or use its effect during the turn that it's special summoned. We have one copy of Magical Mallet, which lets you put any amount of cards from your hand back into the deck, shuffle, and draw the same number you put back. One copy of Mystical Space Typhoon. It's Mystical Space Typhoon. One copy of Pot of Greed. One copy of Monster Reborn. One copy of Graceful Charity. One copy of Fiend Sanctuary, which special summons one Metal Fiend token to your side of the field. It can't attack, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would take in from battles involving the token. However, you can tribute the token, so most of the time, when you activate this card, you'll simply tribute it and summon out an Armed Dragon level 5. That rounds out the spell cards. Moving on to trap cards, we have one copy of Ojama Trio, which special summons 3 Ojama tokens to your opponent's side of the field. They have the same stats as normal Ojama monsters, however when they're destroyed, your opponent takes 300 points of damage for each one, and they cannot be tributed. One copy of the Grave of Enkindling. You can only activate this when a monster on your side of the field is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. Both you and your opponent special summon a monster from the graveyard in defense mode, but it can never change its battle positions. However, if you use this card in combination with an Armed Dragon level 3, and it lives to your standby phase, it can level up into level 5, so you can get around that downside. We have one copy of Chthonian Blast. When a monster is destroyed on your side of the field and sent to the graveyard, you can activate this card to destroy the monster on the field with the lowest attack, and then both players will take damage equal to that monster's attack, divided by 2. We have 2 copies of Call of the Haunted, which special summons a monster from the graveyard in attack mode. And the final trap card is one copy of Chthonian Polymer. When your opponent fusion summons a monster, you can tribute a monster on your side of the field to take control of that monster permanently. Just spitting this out there, this card would be pretty funny if you used it on a Shadal deck. Sometimes character decks have some good ideas in them. That is the 40 card main deck. We have a tiny fusion deck, but it is a fusion deck nonetheless, and we'll move on to that. We have one copy of the mighty Ojama King. To make Ojama King, you need to fuse together one Ojama Green, one Ojama Yellow, and one Ojama Black to make this bad boy. As long as he's on the field, you can select up to 3 of your opponent's monster card zones, and they cannot be used. Also, he has 3,000 defense points. And then for the last fusion, we have one Ojama Knight. Ojama Knight requires 2 Ojamas, but no specific ones. You can use any 2, even a duplicate of another one. And as long as he's on the field, you can select up to 2 of your opponent's monster card zones and they cannot be used. He also has 2,500 defense points. That rounds up the Chazz Princeton deck. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you liked the video, please leave a like down below. Leave some comments of other character decks or any decks really in general you'd like to see from us. And I will hopefully be posting up some more duel videos between other characters, maybe some other decks you'd like to see. And that's it for this video. Team Slifer Slacker signing out.